Learn all must-know glossary terms for CompTIA Security SY0-701, Part 2.
Term 802-1.x. Definition. This is a technology used for authentication at the data link layer, helping hosts connect to a local area network or a wireless local area network. Acceptable Use Policy, AUP. This policy outlines the rules that limit how you may use a computer, network, or any other system. Term, access control. Definition. This is the selective way that access to a resource or a place is restricted. Access Control List, ACL. This is a series of commands or rules applied to a router or firewall to help control how traffic flows. You might also hear it called an access list. Term, Access Control Model. Definition. This is a methodology that organizes and manages how admission to computer systems and physical areas is granted. Term, Access Control Standards. Definition. These are established requirements or rules that define who within an organization gets access to certain systems and network components. Term, Access Control Vestibule. Definition. This is an entry set up so that one of the entrance doors is always closed. This helps control the traffic flow in the facility and gives security a clear view of everyone coming in. Term, Account Lockout. Definition. This response happens when login attempts repeatedly fail. It prevents the user from accessing the system for a set amount of time or requires manual intervention by an administrator. Term, Acknowledgement. Definition. This is the action of formally recognizing or accepting specific conditions, which is often documented through formal agreements or signatures. Acquisition. In digital forensics, this is the systematic gathering of digital evidence from various sources, ensuring its integrity for later analysis and potential legal proceedings. This is the process of acquisition process. This is the process of making sure that whatever is being procured meets all of the organization's requirements for security policies, standards, and compliance. This is a direct type of penetration test, where the person performing the test interacts with the target system. Term, Active/active. This is a scenario where devices perform work simultaneously, meaning they share the workload. Term, Active/passive. Definition. This is a scenario where one device actively performs the work, while another device operates in a standby nature. Term, Ad hoc risk assessment. Definition. This risk assessment is specific to the situation and is often done in a reactive way. Term, Adaptive identity. This is a dynamic way to verify and identify systems or users based on context, like location, device, or behavior. It is a crucial part of the Zero Trust model because it ensures that trust is constantly adjusted and evaluated based on changing conditions. Term, Agent-based solution. This is a tool that requires the installation of a software agent onto every system that you want to monitor. Term, Agent-based web filtering approach. Definition. This is a web filtering approach where the software is deployed directly onto each individual user device. Term, Agentless solution. Definition. This is a tool that monitors and manages systems, but does not require a software agent to be installed on each one. Term, Air gapping. Definition. This practice makes sure there is a lack of connection, or a gap of air, between a computer and a network. Term, Alert response process. Definition. This is the process of confirming if an alert indicates a genuine security threat or if it is just a false positive. Term, Alert tuning. Definition. This is the process of refining the mechanisms that are used to monitor alerts. Term, Alerting. This is the process of identifying activities that might be concerning based on the rules that you have predefined. This is a mathematical formula that is used in cryptographic processes. Term, Allow list. Definition. A list showing which inputs are okay, meaning the inputs a user or machine is allowed to enter into a system. It is also known as a whitelist.
Amplified DDoS attack. This attack works by using network protocols that end up sending back more data than they originally took in.
Analysis. This is the work of taking raw data related to threats and vulnerabilities and turning it into deep, comprehensive understandings.
Annualized loss expectancy, ALE. This refers to the full monetary loss, measured in dollars per year, caused by one specific event or incident.
Annualized rate of occurrence, ARO. This is simply how many times that one specific incident takes place over the course of a year.
Anomalous behavior recognition. This is a really important part of cybersecurity, focusing on finding actions or patterns in a network or system that move away from what is usually expected or the established norms. This is a computer program that helps prevent, find, and take away malware. You might also hear it called anti-malware.
Application Allow List. This is a list that shows the specific approved applications that are permitted to run on a network.
Application attack. This attack takes advantage of weak spots in software applications, which could potentially cause data to be stolen, access to be unauthorized, or the system to be disrupted. Application monitoring. This is the continuing work of keeping an eye on how well software applications are working and how healthy they are. Application restart. This is the step of stopping a particular software application and then turning it back on again. We do this to put in place changes like updates, patches, or new configuration changes. Application security. These are security steps taken at the application level that are meant to stop the data or code inside that application from being stolen, taken, or hijacked. This is a really important business step that dictates exactly how changes that affect security get approved and who is the person authorized to make those specific decisions. Archiving. This is the careful step of safely storing old or historical information like reports and logs so that we can get them back and analyze them over the long term. Assessment. This is a kind of audit done from the external side, meant to judge how well an organization's full security posture is actually working. Assignment and accounting process. This is the process we use to set up the chains of responsibility and accountability, which then influences the organization's entire security position. This is asymmetric encryption. This is a way of encrypting data that uses two distinct keys, a public one for turning the data into code and a private one for decoding it. This is the full measure of all the weak spots and possible entry points an unauthorized person might use to breach the security of a system. This simply means that you have evidence or proof about something. Attribute-based access control, ABAC. This is an access structure where users are given rights by using many different policies that mix together characteristics belonging to the user, the group, and the resources. This is a complete step-by-step review, often carried out by someone outside the organization or by the internal review group. This is the audit committee. This is the specific group of people focused on making sure the entire audit process is properly looked after. Authenticating people. This is the step of making sure that users trying to access a network or system are truly who they say they are. Authenticating systems. This is the work of making sure that the systems or devices attempting to connect to a network or access a sensitive place, like an airport terminal, are verified and trusted. Authentication protocol. It's a collection of rules that show how users or systems prove who they are, which lets them access a network. Authentication, authorization, and accounting. This is a framework used to smartly manage access to computer resources, making sure policies are followed, watching usage, and providing the details needed for any audits. Authorization model. This model lays out the specific approaches and protocols used when checking the identities of users or various systems. This is a report set up to run on a schedule or activated by certain events. It offers a clear, combined summary of different security metrics and activities. Automation. In compliance monitoring, this simply means using software tools and technology to perform tasks automatically instead of needing someone to do the work manually. Availability. This is the part of the CIA triad ensuring that the right users can always access and use the systems and data whenever they are needed. Term. Backout plan. Definition. This is a written-out procedure for how to undo changes that are having a bad effect on security or on business operations. Term. Backup. This is just a copy of the data and system settings that is stored somewhere different from the original version. This is simply how often the scheduled backups run to capture any changes that have happened recently. This protective barrier, usually made of steel or concrete, is often used for handling materials. It offers more protection across a straight line than a bollard does. These barriers stop both people and vehicles from moving across a large space. Term. Benchmark. This is a standard point of reference that makes it simpler to figure out the security level of any system. Biometric identifier. This is a specific measurable number or calculation based on a measurement of the body, relating to a characteristic of a human being. Birthday attack. This is an attack against a hashing system where someone tries to send two unique messages that end up generating the very same hash function, causing what is called a collision. This is when someone threatens to share information that is embarrassing, disgraceful, or damaging unless you meet their demand, which usually involves money. Term. Bloatware. This is software that uses up a lot of system resources and is often already installed on devices when you get them. Term. Block role. Definition. This is a set of criteria that an administrator predefines to automatically stop people from accessing certain websites or certain types of content on the web. This is a digital record, like a ledger, that keeps track of transactions across a number of different computers. This is the technology people use most often to send data without wires over short distances. This is a network that lets different devices communicate with each other, but only over a short distance. Term. Board. Definition. This refers to a group responsible for deciding the overall strategic direction regarding how secure an organization should be. Term. Bollard. Definition. This is a sturdy, short, standalone post, often made of steel and set into something hard like concrete. It stops vehicles from moving in certain ways, but people can still walk freely around it. Term. Brand impersonation. This is a tactic where attackers try to fool people by pretending to be representatives of a brand that everyone trusts. This is a policy that lets employees use their personal devices when they need to complete tasks for work. This is an attack where someone systematically tries out every single possible password or encryption key until they gain unauthorized access. This is a buffer overflow. This is a common security weakness that happens when a program tries to write more data into a buffer, which is a temporary spot for storing data, than that buffer is able to hold. Buffer overflow attack. It's an attack that finds weaknesses in how an application handles its memory. This happens particularly when too much data is put into a buffer, more than that buffer can handle. This is a specific kind of responsible disclosure program. It gives money or financial incentives to security researchers when they find and then report software weaknesses. Business continuity policy. This is a thorough policy covering lots of different situations like cyber attacks and natural disasters. Its goal is to keep financial losses and downtime to a minimum, while also making sure people or personnel stay safe. Business Impact Analysis, BIA. This process figures out what might happen or the potential impacts if important business activities, those that are critical or time-sensitive, are interrupted. This is an agreement that sets out the terms and conditions for a partnership that exists between two different business entities. This is a group of tasks and procedures that are coordinated together. An organization uses them to reach a specific organizational goal or to deliver a product or a service. This is an organized effort where attackers try to send phishing messages out to many targets. This is a process of figuring out exactly what resources an organization will need in the future. These resources include people, technology, and infrastructure. This refers to a mobile network technology like 2G, 3G, 4G, or 5G. It is used to handle both data and voice communication. This is a structure for governance where the power to make decisions is gathered mainly at the very top levels of the organization. This is a method for web filtering that relies on a server. It works like a middleman or intermediary, positioned between user devices and the Internet itself. Centralized system. This is a system where the control functions, storing the data, and processing are all brought together in just one server or one location. This is a document that has a digital signature. It securely links a specific public key to a person, a device, or a service. Certificate Authority, CA. This is the entity or organization that is responsible for issuing digital certificates. Certificate Revocation List, CRL. This is a list showing all the certificates that the entity which originally issued them has decided to revoke or cancel. Certificate Signing Request, CSR. This is just a request that is sent to a certificate authority asking them for a digital certificate. When we talk about disposal or decommissioning, certification is the process of writing down and confirming that the entire decommissioning was done according to the relevant laws, regulations, and company policy. This is a clear, detailed record of the exact journey that evidence takes, starting from when it is gathered all the way through to when it is finally disposed of. Change management. This is a planned way to help people, teams, and whole organizations move smoothly from where they are now, or their current state, to the future state they hope to achieve. This is a policy that lets employees pick out a device, but they have to select it from a specific list that the company has already approved. Client-based security. This is a security method where you have to install specific software called an agent right on the client device itself. This is done whether that client is a computer, a mobile device, or a network appliance. Closed circuit television, CCTV. This is an older analog technology. It involves cameras that are connected together using a network of coaxial cables. Cloud computing. This is a way to offer services whenever they are requested or on demand. It works by expanding the capabilities of a network or a computer system. This refers to the hardware and software components, things like servers and storage, that are necessary to make cloud computing work. This is the process of linking up several different servers so that they all operate together as one single unified system. Thank you for watching.